Total time of 4.18. First shot was 1.52, split 266 on the reload. That's why we use shot timers, and that's why just be careful who you listen to that doesn't use one. Hey guys, you're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, and as you may have guessed, today we're going to be talking about a few different things. I'm going to roll it into one video rather than split it into two subjects. So yes, that was my Glock 45 MOS with the custom Cerakote job. That is awesome that my buddy Billy did for me, and love this gun. Absolute blast to shoot and all that. It's a Glock, and I do like Glock a little bit. Not a Glock fanboy though. There's going to be videos on that gun up there in the description, whatever, if you want to check it out more, as well as where I stand on Glocks. Today we're going to be talking about this, and not necessarily this particular one, but these in practice as a concept, whatever. So we are also going to be discussing some gun drama, so if you are here for the drama, I'm here for it too, sadly. So it is important for me to state going into this, I don't think either of these individuals know that I'm going to make this video. I don't know that they care. It is what it is, but it's going to be interesting. So we may as well get comfortable because we're going to be here a minute. That's right. There was some kerfuffle. Now, I'm no stranger to gun drama. A lot of you are probably here because of it. Because a certain Caleb Giddings went after a certain Paul Harrell, and well, whatever, I weighed in on it. The specifics or whatever, and there will be a link to that video if you want to see it. But we had another incident where somebody went after Paul Harrell. Now, I'm not sure how this video is going to go over. The individual that went after Paul Harrell was none other than Active Self-Protection's John Correia, and he basically said, you know, if you're getting your training or whatever from Paul Harrell, then you need to reevaluate and move on with your life. Okay. So you guys have probably heard me talk about active self-protection quite a bit, and why I'm not upset with him, and I was with Giddings, is because of what John does. John is a trainer by virtue of everything. He teaches class, he takes classes, he is literally devoted to self-protection. That's what he does. That's what he eats, sleeps, and breathes. He watches videos, analyzes those videos. He's probably got more exposure to the world of self-defense than many of us ever will. So before we go any further, let's get to what it is. And I'm going to roll a clip into this, and I'll read it as well. Once again, let us remember that YouTube's subscriber count does not qualify an opinion, and having a large subscriber base does not make your technique or tactics or procedures correct. Also, seeing morons with huge sub counts teaching gun stuff that is window-licking level stupid makes my brain hurt. Sure, dummy, do it. Sure, dummy, you do it totally wrong, misrepresent its purpose, never take the time to actually learn what it is or how it works, and then tell your viewers it's wrong. Flips table. Also, if you're on my friends list and watch Paul Harrell videos, you need to have a word with yourself and stop that shit right now. I have looked, I can't find the post in question, I only have the picture that is there. And it is what it is, and kind of leaves no doubts as to where Mr. Correia stands on this whole thing. So, I don't know what the method or technique or whatever it was that was being referenced is. Doesn't really matter. I think the basis here that we need to have a conversation about is there's different channels that do different things. You have shooters that use shot timers that can show you a B8 or talk about scores. Things like that have a objective level of proficiency. Shot timers, there is no, well, it seems faster, or it looked fast, or it might have been fast. No, there's numbers, and these don't lie. So they've been hurting feelings for a while. They certainly hurt mine some days, and they certainly reinforce some things that I'm doing to practice. So again, there's shooters that use these, and there's shooters that don't. There are YouTube personalities that use these. There are YouTube personalities that don't. Does that mean that you should stop watching one or the other? No. Does that mean that you should consider the source on where you're getting training and information and relevant self-defense stuff from? Abso-freaking-lutely. Now I'm sure right about now somebody's saying, well, Nick, you backed up Paul before, and why aren't you going to do it now? Well, because what I backed up Paul before against was just kind of Caleb being a dick, and I'll kind of say the same thing. And John, if you see this, I still like you, but yeah, John was kind of a dick about it. That's all there is to it. We're all adults. Sorry for the language. He could have worded it nicer. I'm sure he could have. But Paul Harrell's techniques are a bit outdated. Paul Harrell's techniques are not involving one of these. We have to do camera analysis and frame by frame, and well, these take a whole lot of guesswork out of it. So there is that. And at this point, with how accessible these are, especially for somebody in Mr. Harrell's shoes, I have to kind of wonder why he's not using one. So the other thing we'll talk about, because I saw a bunch of comments basically ragging on John Correia's opinion of the meat target. So ballistics gel allows you to take a set number of rounds and shoot them into the same medium and compare those results, right? Kind of like objective data here, which people say there's no beep in a gunfight and there's no ballistics gel on a meth head that's attacking you. Correct. We are looking for standards that we can then replicate and that we can have a comparative thing to, an objective standard that we can compare things to. With the meat target, you're getting some pretty entertaining results. You're getting some kind of, that's interesting. But there is no, it's not repeatable. It's not something where every shot is going into the same medium at the same consistency that's been calibrated. So at best, it's a wow. It kind of drives home the point that bullets are unpredictable and do weird things. It doesn't simulate anything, at least not to my knowledge and not from any medical people that I've talked to. So meat target is, well, entertainment. And I kind of said that from the get-go, and I know some people are going to act like this is the first time you've heard me say this. I like Paul Harrell's personality. He's a relaxing guy to listen to. There's a lot of technical knowledge that he has passed down, and he is a net gain, I think, for the firearms community. He puts information out in a manner that's easy for some folks to digest. He certainly has an interesting sense of humor that some folks appreciate, and obviously some won't, just like some folks like me, and well, I can assure you some don't, probably more after this video. But he is largely, well, an entertainer. He doesn't claim to be an expert. He doesn't claim to be teaching you anything. So if you let these video creators stay in their lane and you let them fill the role that they're trying to fill, entertainer, trainer, gun reviewer. I mean, there are people that know orders of magnitude more about guns that I can outshoot in a heartbeat. By the same token, there are people that I know a crap load more about guns than they do that can outshoot me pretty damn quick. So again, it all comes down to why are you watching them and what do you hope to gain out of that time spent watching them. So sure, John Correia could have been less of a jerk, I guess, wording whatever he said. But what he said is valid. You wouldn't take Ray Charles to a Van Gogh exhibit for his perspective on Van Gogh paintings. Just like you wouldn't take a deaf person to an orchestra performance for their opinion on the music. Those people are not going to appreciate those two events. So to speak plainly, I'm not going to go to Paul Harrell's channel for his advice on everyday carry and self-defense tactics or training or different things that I need to get into for training in my day-to-day life. That's not his specialty. Now, if I have a question about Remington green and yellow box, 158 grain jacketed lead soft point, yeah, I might definitely ask him, because he's probably got the chronograph test to tell me what I want to know about bullet velocities and this, that, and the other. And yeah, so again, there you go. Now, am I going to go to John and say, hey, John, I was wondering about this random assortment of ammo. Can you tell me which one you'd pick and why? First thing John would do is recommend MagTech, because MagTech's one of his sponsors. Just kidding. I would ask John, based on what you've seen, is it overkill to have an extra magazine? What are some legal courses that I should be taking based off what you've seen happen after justified civilian self-defense shootings? What are some things that I can be doing to better educate myself? What trainers and instructors do you recommend for medical training? Who do you talk to that is a good place to go for legal counsel? What sort of carry insurance do you recommend? Those are more in his wheelhouse. So again, watch both. I don't care. So to John's point, I don't think there's anything wrong with watching Paul Harrell's videos or anybody else's as long as you're keeping it in its lane. As long as you're not allowing that to be an undue influence. By the other token, based off what I've seen people post about John, well, he is a subject matter expert. He does not have to punch up at Paul Harrell for anything. His channel is bigger than Paul Harrell's. He's well respected in the gun and training community. You know, people that use these. So, and another observation I'm going to make, since this video has probably ticked a lot of people off, the people that are really just tooth and nail coming out of the woodworks over this in favor of Paul Harrell, this probably scares you a little bit, doesn't it? So I'll leave it at that. I'm not claiming to be better than either gentleman, just saying, let reason prevail. Before we head out, I'd like to thank my patrons and channel members. You guys rock. Your support means a lot. Thank you for putting up with me even when I come out and make comment nightmare inducing videos like this that are going to be an absolute joy to sort through. I appreciate everything you guys do. So thank you. Guys, stay safe. Have a happy holiday season, whatever it is you celebrate. I hope you celebrate it well and safely with family. And if you get out there and do some shooting, consider adding one of these to your training regimen. They're good. They teach us all how much we suck, and that's just great. So I'll see you guys next time.